what's up? It's Big V and we're talking teams, everybody. Teams. When we talk about teams, our goal is to solve the biggest problems in and around teams and to give you insights and ideas and systems that will help you not only grow a successful team, but create a better life. So why is it that people start teams, and what are some of the biggest impediments in growing and scaling your real estate business? Here's what it comes down to. When you're good at the business, you're good at working with clients, you have a high level of expertise, you do the right thing, you have integrity in everything that you do, it just simply creates more opportunities. And pretty soon you get to a place where you have to either start saying no to the more business, you have the good intention of following up with the B and C leads, but you really don't follow up with them, or you say no to the things that matter more in life, like your 5 F's, your family, your faith, your friends, your fun, or your fitness, or your food. I use those interchangeably. So you give up one of those top 5. I think you can have it all. I believe that you can have great balance in your life and you can enjoy all those things and you can have a great business. But the only way you can do it is if you create leverage. When you talk about how to scale a business, the word I use is leverage. Matter of fact, every year we do a conference called Leverage, and I'll put a link to our Leverage conference right here in the comments if you want to know more about that. It's an event specifically designed to help team leaders and team members have greater leverage in their business and in their lives. One of the things you'll learn at the conference, or some of the things I'm going to talk about here, are the 2 ways people create leverage. The first one is by human resources. We hire an assistant or a client care coordinator. We outsource our transactions. We get someone that can run errands for us or that can put up signs or open house things. We delegate taking of pictures and entering things into the MLS. We hire people or humans to create leverage. The second way of creating leverage is using systems and technology, and that's what I want to talk about today. Everybody has an opinion on what the best systems are, what the best technology is, and they often want to share it with you. I'm a believer that I first have to understand what you have that you're currently using or not using and the level that you're using it before we make recommendations on where the gaps are. One of the first things that happens when you become a Workman Success coaching client is you go through a process called an AMP scorecard. Now, if you stay tuned on this video, I'm going to give you a link. I'm going to share with you how you can get a copy of your own AMP scorecard so you can identify the strengths and weaknesses of the technology you're currently running in your business. So let's show you how the AMP scorecard works. The first thing we do is on the bottom of the sheet, we put a series of tabs. The tabs are the critical things that belong in your business. They would include things like your CRM, your operations manual, your virtual real estate, the way that you do your bookkeeping and accounting. All of those tabs are different systems that every real estate agent that's growing and scaling must have. Once we open up the tab, and I'll use the tab for CRM, for example, we list all of the things that should be running effectively in your business. And then with your coach or independently, you'll go through and you'll score on a scale of 1 to 10 how you rate in that feature. So do you have duplicates? If you have a lot of duplicates, you might be a 0. If you don't have any duplicates, you could be a 10. Are you using it on a daily basis? An 8 might be most of the time, but not all the time. A 0 might be I never use it. So you go through each of the features or the functions that we believe are important in a CRM and you score it. Then we go through and we look at your total score and the recommended score. Once we look at just your CRM and you see the score, the coach is then able to recommend which activities or which features are the highest priority to fix in your business. It then gets moved to the tab that calls the recommendation. On the recommendations tab, we take all of the different operational things that are running in your business and we start prioritizing them in what's first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Then whether it's you or your administrative assistant or a virtual assistant, whoever's going to be doing that task, they then go through that list and they start with the highest priority and then do the next and the next and the next. The beauty of an AMP scorecard is that over time, and we do it each quarter, we review all your operations and all your systems in your business and you watch for improvements in each of the areas. What's really cool to see is that as your operational excellence gets better, you're also going to see a correlation in how your business is growing. As your business is growing, because your systems and processes are automated, you're also going to notice how the amount of time spent away from family goes down. You leveraging technology isn't an optional thing you should do in business. It's a critical component. Let me give you a couple of other ideas of how you could use the AMP scorecard in your business. First, for your own business to recognize where you are and where you need improvement. Second, for the agents that you lead. As a broker owner, you could go through each one of your agents and ask for a conversation with them that you're going to do what's called a success probability index. Based on the tools and the resources and the technology they're using, you can score each of those areas. And then if they have really low scores, you can see that the probability of scale and success is low. Now, one of the coolest things with the AMP scorecard is that for every feature or every piece of technology where there's a challenge, in Workman Success Systems Training Center in BAM, AMP, SLAN, and RAMP, there is a corresponding video or resource that teaches you how to solve that problem. So it's not just identify the problem, it's identify the problem, have the resource, plug into it, and then use it to solve the problem. So that's what Workman does for our clients, is we give them everything they need, the tools, the training, the trade secrets, and the insights to be able to make the right course corrections. As you're meeting with agents in your office or on your team and you're doing the AMP scorecard with them, you give them specific assignments to go work on, and that might include some videos they need to watch, and then set the date for the next time you're going to meet in one quarter. Each quarter, as you're working with them, see if you can elevate their operational excellence. It does a few things for them. One of the things is it gives them clarity that you're interested in helping them scale. And so by being interested, it draws them nearer to you. It helps with retention. The second thing that it does is it helps them look at their business strategically instead of just emotionally. It puts a plan and a process to the way that they're moving forward. The next thing that it does is it gives them clarity on what to do next. So when they're wondering what they should be focused on or doing, they simply go to the idea backlog or the project backlog and they start checking things off. It's really fun at the end of a quarter to see how much people have grown and how much they've improved, and they start to feel a sense of accomplishment that they haven't received anywhere else that they've hung their license. Now let's talk about recruiting with the AMP scorecard. Anybody watching this video want to add more people to their team or add more people to their brokerage? Well, instead of just recruiting people and say, come join me, how about you start serving them by saying, we have a success probability index that actually calculates the likelihood of somebody's success operationally in the business. There's no cost or obligation. I'm not going to try and convert you into joining my team or my brokerage, but if you have an hour, I'd like to sit down with you and look at your technology and your systems, and I'll give you a score and some resources on how to improve in those areas. Would that be of help? You see, when you serve regardless of opportunity, you use the AMP scorecard or the success probability index to help them see their business in a different light. They're going to be drawn to you. I promise in the conversation that it's going to come up at some point. Well, what would it look like if I hung my license with you? Or how do your agents on your team do that? When they start asking you questions, it opens up a safe place to have a conversation. When you serve and you help people, regardless of whether or not they join you, it gives you permission to ask them at some point to have a conversation about joining your company. Serving regardless of opportunity is not just a concept that you should try, it's a core value you should live by. And when you have tools like the AMP scorecard in your business, for your own team and for the team members that you'd like to have join you, it becomes an unfair competitive advantage. If you just click the link right below, I'm going to not just give you a video on how to do it, I'm going to give you the entire AMP scorecard that you can take and evaluate your own business. If you'd like to know more how to read it or some of the resources that are available to you, sign up for a free coaching consultation and let one of our business analysts go through that with you. I look forward to doing business with you, and I wish you the greatest success as you build and scale your business operationally.